Welcome back. We still on Coochie Chocolate. You dig? Self-determination. I told y'all I was coming back. You dig? You know this is a Racial Really Network. We in the building checking on my young Hemi. But though, I told y'all I was coming back, and I told you we was about to deal with the word Negro, Nacro, nigga. Niger. You feel me? Now let's check this out. Boom. Let me show you how tough self-determination emerged from all these different things and the ways that we use it. So originally, the word nigger or negro or nacro, you know what I'm saying? It originated from the term Niger, which was from the people in Africa by the Niger River. It was the Black River. You feel me? So we always defined ourselves based on our continent and based on our skin color, whatever. So the Black River was affiliated with the black people that lived by the Black River. You feel me? So during the time, I don't know which one it was. It was Mussolini and Napoleon. I think it was Napoleon. But yeah, during the time that they was trying to conquer us and stuff like that, it began to take on a derogatory name. You feel me? That's when they started using it in negative terms. But before we get to him, that's when he started using it to mean slave. It started getting all these negative names, ignorant person, and all that type of stuff. But when you go back before that, you had Greek, Nacro. So it was meant death. It meant death or something like that. Nacro meant death. You see what I'm saying? But death back in the days meant like transformation, not the type of death that we be thinking about right now. So Nacro meant death. Then it was Negro, or it also meant tool too. It also meant tool. So a tool, that was one of the things they lynched off in slavery when they started using us as tools to pull what they needed from. Then you had it meant moving from that to being you had Negro and Greek also meant black, and you also had the word Moor in Spain that meant black as well. So these were the terms that other people gave us when we started getting into these terms where other people started defining us, but they started defining us because we first called ourselves black. It went negative with the dude Napoleon. You know, the one that was shooting at the Sphinx, dropping the nose on him and all that type of stuff to try to take off his African features and all that type of stuff. But anyway, so we fast forward throughout slavery, they started using nigger as a term to to degrade us and say that we was nothing and less than man and all that type of stuff. So we went from Nacro, from Niger to they had a dialect that they couldn't pronounce our dialect, and it was nigger to them. And so they started using the word nigger. But then when we fast forward coming through the civil rights movement, we started saying that it's not. We're not using that word no more. And our people started defining themselves by saying, I ain't no nigger. I ain't no ignorant person, no ignorant motherfucker. So fast forward after that, it was an era where we started using the word nigga again, which meaning that's my nigga, that's my brother, that's my homie, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. Not as in you an ignorant motherfucker. You feel me? So these were the phases of self determination that we took. We took once it started being transformed in other people's lens, we took and we used it from that perspective. That's one build on that. Another aspect I want to build on, we talk about language. You feel me? Self determination. When you have a language that defines you and who you are, and it is a constant reminder of what you is, and that define the different particles of who you is as far as the knowledge of self. You have a language that helps you be able to greet your fellow man in a proper aspect, in the proper terms. Then you can use terms that of endurance, but it had to come from you. You got to remember, we're dealing with systems. They define people based on their worldview, our oppressors I'm speaking of, and we define ourselves based on our worldview. We saw our black as beautiful. In fact, everything began in the deep black. When you look into the skies, man, you look into the cosmos, you see that all the stars and all the lights of the world came from black. When you look at the earth, the richest soil is black. When you go into the womb of the woman, you know what I'm saying, it's black. So I'm telling you, us using this term black as a term of endurance, even when we go to the African colors, for example, is red, black, and green. Let me explain what that means from an African perspective. Red for the blood shed through our struggles and success and victories and so forth like that. Green was for the land that we possessed and work hard to maintain because we need the land to produce the communities that make us great. You feel me? The environment that make us great. And then you had black was the color of our skin. You see what I'm saying? The cam, you know what I'm saying? The unadulterated, the original matter, the black person, the black being, the blackness of life, which is the root of life. You see what I'm saying? So our people defined ourselves on a whole nother caliber in terms than what people did. So I'm saying that self-determination again is us defining ourselves on a broader level. You see me? So I had to make sure I build on that coochie chocolate a little more because self-determination is everything, man. You hear me? Our people had breakdown of the whole faculty of God and man, and we shared the same likeness of God, which is what they say created in the image and likeness. Man, we had so many terms that express the nature of God and man that you would have to study our culture to understand that. Now we need to get back to that, is what I'm saying though. So listen, this is a Ritual Really Network, and I wanted to make sure I hit y'all with that on a Coochie Chocolate clear tip. You feel me? And I might come back with more because there's a whole lot to say when you're talking about self determination. Defining ourselves, bro, is important. And anytime you want to know something about a people or a thing, or more, I'm gonna say a people, a religious, a culture, you need to go to that culture because in the society that we live in right now, they don't represent other cultures good. When it comes to our people and what we study, how we practice and everything, they got us thinking that everything about African culture and spirituality, everything that got to do with what black people produce is evil, backwards, and all that type of stuff. When you look at, for example, Varum, you know what I'm saying? They say, oh, they put curses and hearses and all that curses and all that type of hex and spells and voodoo dolls and all that type of stuff. All these different stuff, blah blah blah. But then you turn around and say that you practice Christianity when Jesus was a voodoo priest himself. Now people might be find that offensive by coming from me, but they don't know what a voodoo priest is. Voodoo priest is healed the sick. You know what I'm saying? They didn't raise the dead, brought people back to life through healing. You see what I'm saying? By laying their hands on people. They use earth to cure people. You know what I'm saying? They communicate with the aspects of God in order to deliver a message to the people. And it's the same thing that Jesus did himself. You know what I'm saying? And they talked to their ancestors. Then Jesus talked to his ancestors on the Mount of Transfiguration. He talked to Moses and Elijah. And then he had witnesses there that was with him that said that junk. And they said his head shone. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was enlightened. I mean, the light shined on his head and his head shone like the sun. Another thing, expression of that, the children of the sun. You know what I'm saying? That's another aspect that we need to be talking about because what the sun does to us. The sun represents the Holy Spirit, the life moving spirit, the breath, you know what I'm saying, or the energy that moves life. You know what I'm saying? When you look in the Kemetic principles and the Kemetic, what's the name? You see the sun with the rays coming from the sun, and at the end of it, like got hands and it's holding the unk. The unk represents life. You see what I'm saying? So let's start back defining ourselves. Listen, I ain't said nothing about Plato or none of them because they ain't got nothing to do with what we talking about when we define ourselves. I'm talking about my people, man. You feel me? Queen Anzinga, Queen Tai, Usher, Shango, Haru. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk about them. Hitshepsu, you know what I'm saying? King Tut and all them. But you know, we need to understand who our people was and what they did for the nations and stuff, and how we brought civilization, mathematics, religion, spirituality. You know what I'm saying? Construction, all that type of stuff, man. Geometry. We did all that, man. Everything that make the world what it is today. We played a part in that. So that's the reason why it's important that we understand what Coochie Chocolate is in all these different days of the Kwanzaa, man, represents something that we need to learn. Shout out to the guys and goddesses. One love, mean life, one nation, one struggle. I'm out.